What's up? It's the Let's View It Again crew. I'm Gene.
I'm Steph.
And we're back. Steph, looking a little different, isn't it?
Yes.
Feel like we're looking fancy. What do you guys think? Sorry, listeners, if you're not a subscriber to our YouTube page.
Which you should be.
You should be. But they may work or something. We can't watch videos at work.
They can.
So we appreciate you, however you get this.
However you can.
In your ear holes. We appreciate it. But for the viewers, you can see we have a small upgrade to our studio setup here. I think it looks mighty fine. Steph, how you feeling about it?
Feeling good about it.
That's great, man. You didn't seem too happy.
What do you mean?
Because I feel like I was enthused and you weren't, but whatever.
It's great.
There you go. Much better. How you feeling today?
Feeling good.
That's great, man. Looking good. You're looking good. So I'm glad you feel great and look great.
Yes.
Viewers, listeners, I hope y'all doing well too. Steph, I'm sorry. I always get into my talking without introducing the movie, but I feel like was it good banter between me and you? Back and forth? Okay, I feel like it was good. We shaking the rust off in the new studio. Forgive me, listeners and viewers. Anywho, today on season 3, Nothing But Action. The season chock full of action. We're talking about Demolition Man, 1993's Demolition Man. Any initial thoughts, Steph? I guess before you went into the movie for rewatch, or is this a rewatch for you?
Yes, I saw it before, but could I have told you, oh, this is what happens every step of the way? No. So it's a little bit of both.
I got you. I'm a little older than you, and I'm a guy. You know what I'm saying? So this is a teenage boy. And when I wasn't a teenager then, I'm not that old. But this is that type of action movie. It's kind of mindless. It has a little comedy interlaced. So I've seen it a number of times. I will say this. If you're from the FAA or FCC or something like that, whoever monitors like piracy and stuff, turn it off right now. Thank you. Appreciate it. So, Steph, on our rewatch, we didn't have the DVD, and it wasn't streaming anywhere. I don't know what's going on with you. What's his name? Stallone. But Demolition Man isn't streaming anywhere, so we had to procure the movie by means that we shall not discuss. But the version we watched was actually the UK version. I know. And I didn't notice that part, even though I've seen this movie a bunch of times, and I'll bring it up once we get to talking about the part where you can tell it's the UK version versus the US version. But yeah, so hey, guys, get this on streaming so everybody can enjoy some good Demolition Man and the one that is made for their country. This is not beans and toast land. This is America, and I want to watch the American version. Steph, give us a synopsis.
All right.
Of 1993's Demolition Man.
This is just from Google.
What happened to IMDb?
They were long. They told the whole movie. It wasn't. You know how I'm about summaries and movie trailers. Yes. Don't give the whole story.
Yes, but listeners, anyway, she don't want to give it all away. She want us to.
With innocent victims caught in the crossfire in Los Angeles' intensifying war on crime, both cop John Spartan, played by Sylvester Stallone, and violent thug is what they use.
Pardon me?
Simon Phoenix, played by Wesley Snipes. That's what Google said.
That's what Google said.
Are sentenced to a state of frozen incarceration known as cryo prison. When Spartan is finally thawed, it's 2032, and Los Angeles is now a pacifist utopia. But with Phoenix again on the loose, Spartan must team up with future cop, played by Sandra Bullock, to apprehend the killer.
For sure. You have a Stallone impression?
I don't. That's funny though. Do you have one?
Of course I do.
I feel like you do. Go ahead.
Hey, where you at? I just do understand Stallone. Hey. What's that slash Stallone? What's that Yogi Bear?
Put Yogi Bear right here. Hey, that movie.
Anywho, Demolition Man was written by Peter Linkoff with rewrites done by Daniel Waters. He's best known for Heathers. I don't know if you've seen that. It's a 80s movie with Winona Ryder, I believe. I'm almost certain. The script itself stayed in development for 6 years before filming even began in February of 1993. The production was slated for a 72-day shoot, but it ended up going for over 110 days. The reason for delays were varied. There was a fire on the lot. There were heavy rains and multiple crew changes, up to and including replacing the initial female lead. It was originally Lori Petty. I don't know if you know her by name. Somewhere. She was in A League of Their Own. I can't remember her name, like Petty or Patty or something like that. Okay. Anyway, but she was replaced 3 days into the shoot with Sandra Bullock.
Did they say why?
Creative differences between her and Stallone.
Gotcha.
Yeah. The original budget was $45 million, but that was quickly demolished with the final budget coming in somewhere between $70 and $90 million. That's between regular filming stuff and marketing. I know. I don't know how much that is in today's money. Probably like 200 million rather. The film was released in October of 1993 to a $14 million weekend debut and went on to earn $159 worldwide, with $58.5 million of that coming from the U.S. So it did rather well. This is not just a cult classic, I guess. I guess it did well in the movies. I think it stayed like number one maybe 3 weekends in a row, and then it kind of just fell off. But it did much better overseas, which I think we've said that on a lot of our action episodes, even when we did like the 80s action stuff. There's a huge market overseas, and it's still now like Fast and the Furious. It does well overseas, you know, Transformers and stuff. So yeah, they love our R-rated expletive laden action movies over there. So that's a win for overseas.
Yeah. You can stop.
Give us the cast and crew.
All right, so we have, of course, Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah.
Who plays John Spartan. He's born July 6, 1946.
Lord.
In New York. Apparently.
So he's not from Philadelphia.
I read that. I guess you could say his is one of his eyes weak, or
that's the only thing weak goes Stallone.
All right. There was a accident at birth with the forceps that severed a nerve. I read that somewhere.
What? So it made his eye weak?
I guess maybe. I think it's one side of his face. Is it? I'm gonna have to get
this is news to me. We're gonna fact check that.
We'll fact check it. Had a rough start. Apparently, he was a child. Parents divorced.
He had a rocky start.
Oh my God. Yes. He eventually did go on to study drama at American College in Switzerland and then the University of Miami. But he left before completing his degrees to go to New York City to pursue acting. And 1976, of course, we know the famous Rocky movie. He wrote, he refused to sell the script.
Hold on, when did you say? 76.
Yes, that's what I had.
Yeah, you said 96.
Did I? Okay, well, 1976, not 96. He wrote Rocky, but again, he refused to sell the script unless he could play Rocky, unless he could be the star. I believe he was married at the time, and I think it said his wife was pregnant at the time. So I'm sure this is a big break for both of them at this time. It came out to have 10 Academy Award nominations, 1 Best Picture, $117 million at the box office.
That's a lot for 76.
I would think so. Of course, he had a string of other characters, Rambo being another famous character that he's famously known for. And we got Wesley Snipes, who plays Phoenix. Born July 31st, 62 in Orlando, Florida. Raised in South Bronx. Attended
the South Bronx.
State,
the South Bronx.
State University of New York at Purchase. He made his film debut in 1986 in a film called Wildcats. I'm not familiar with
that's
that.
with Goldie Hawn.
Yes, I believe it did say that. And then 1990, I mean,
he was on the run,
Mo
baby.
Better Blues opposite Denzel Washington, and then followed up. Another Spike Lee movie was Jungle Fever.
No. It was another Spike Lee joint.
Anyway, but that's pretty good. You just come out
swinging.
Denzel Washington, Mo Better Blues.
Right. So was that his? No. I guess he was co-star there.
So it said opposite Denzel
because
Washington.
he did Major League before that. He was Willie Mays Hayes.
Gotcha.
But I guess it's not a starring role. I don't know. I'm sorry for interrupting.
Also, of course, known famous character Nino Brown in New Jack City. He had a streak in the 90s, I guess you say, ending with Blade in 1998. He's had plenty of more movies also, but I think Blade is his most famous character.
We'll definitely be covering Blade as well as Blade 2. Blade 3 does not exist.
Sandra Bullock. We have born July 26, 64 in Arlington, Virginia. Apparently she spent a lot of time on the road as a child, overseas also.
Oh yeah, I was on the road.
Exactly. Her first stage appearance was at 5 in an opera in Germany. Some famous roles. In 92, she starred in Love Potion No. 9. I remember that movie when I was younger.
You remember the
I don't remember why we watched it, but
it was like PG-13, right?
I guess
but
so.
Remember the
romantic
activation
comedy.
Word?
What was it?
Farfignugan.
There you go. 93. Okay, we had Demolition Man. 94. Speed, from what I read, would be considered her breakout role. In 94. 95 to 2000, she had a streak, a stream of roles there. And then coming up on 2009, The Blind Side. I wonder how she feels about that now. But she won the Best Actress Award. And also
I know how Michael Orr feels about it.
Yeah, but she said she just played the character as it was written, I guess.
Yeah.
And then we have Dennis Leary. I guess you say he's our antagonist or one of them.
Is he?
One of them, maybe.
I don't know.
Is he considered an antagonist? Maybe not.
Not
primary?
really. I don't know what he would be considered in this movie.
I guess Phoenix is.
Yeah, he's more the antagonist, and then he's, not to give away the movie, he's trying to kill Leary's character, but Leary's a thorn in the side of the chief. But yeah Dennis Leary was just being Dennis Leary.
He was born in Massachusetts. He went to Emerson College, and apparently he founded Emerson's comedy workshop. After graduating, he taught there for a few years, maybe 5, something like that. But he founded that comedy workshop. He had a stream of films in the 90s through 2015. Also, is a voice actor in Ice Age and an author. I believe I found about 6 books that he has written also. So that's it.
That's what's up. I'm not gonna do 1993 facts because we just keep going over the same years, in the 90s. But I will, sticking with the theme of this movie, I will talk about notable demolitions of 1993.
Okay.
Wait
a minute, is this sad
Exactly.
stuff?
I was going to say, I'm starting off sad.
Why are
so
you
we're not going to
smiling?
be, because I'm going to see the comedy at the end. Well, it's not embarrassing, but I don't know how to, control my feelings. So I just laugh everything off.
Okay. Well,
here we are.
These aren't funny things.
No, none of this is funny. The first 3 I'm saying are not funny.
Okay.
In February of 1993, terrorists detonated the bomb in the World Trade Center parking garage the first time they attacked. April 93, that's when the federal government killed a bunch of people in Waco, the Branch Davidians, and they said, nope, it wasn't us. Ever the liars. July 1993 was the year, that was the Great Flood of 1993. I remember this vividly. That's when the mighty Mississippi overflowed its banks, flooding much of the South. Fun fact still, that year when it flooded, I wanted to go outside with my paw, and my mom said, well, you can't go out there in those tennis shoes. So you need to put some boots on. And I went and got some cowboy boots, and I went out into the flood of 1993 to tend to the livestock. I don't know why was I said because we didn't have livestock.
And whose boots were they?
I had some cowboy boots.
Oh,
Come on, every young boy has cowboy boots. Come on.
Well, you said it like I went.
Oh
and
no,
got
I
some
didn't.
cowboy
No, I didn't go
boots,
to the store. Couldn't get to the store. Everything was flooded.
No, I said so. Whose boots did you?
They were my
have?
boots,
But
and they
you
were made for
own.
walking as well as made for flooding.
Gotcha.
Speaking of Cowboys, the Dallas Cowboys demolished the Buffalo Bills in Super Bowl 27 that year, 52-17. Whitney Houston, her hit song "I Will Always Love You," it entered this record-breaking or record-demolishing 14-week at number one in February of 1993. I want to say breaking. No, it was upseated by Boyz II Men later, but 14 weeks at number one, and those are notable demolitions of 1993. Steph. I know.
Right.
I tried to wrap it up with a little comedy. It's not a lot of funny stuff when you say demolish. I will. Another fun fact: Food Network premiered in 1993, November of 1993. I want to say. So it ever demolished my attention span when I see Guy Fieri enjoying a huge side of mackerel with macaroni on top or whatever monstrosities that he taste test. We love you, Guy.
All right, so let's get into the movie. So it opens up. There's some type of rescue mission, right? Where Los Angeles is 1996. We see fires everywhere. Bus passengers have been taken hostage. It really just pulls you in. This is an action movie, right?
Get started, baby.
Uh-huh.
So they just get straight to it.
They just go straight.
Which,
into it.
I did like on rewatch. I'm like, yeah, they just get straight to it. None of that build up like that.
Yeah. So we have Stallone. Well, John Spartan's played by Stallone. He jumps out of a plane and attacks gunmen. So just like Stallone.
He dives from a Chinook helicopter, and I want to say that I know that specifically because this was like an unheard of stunt at the time. So they paid a guy extra to bungee himself from a Chinook helicopter, which is very dangerous, and he could have been bungeed back up into the propeller blades.
Well,
Nobody
they must
cares.
have paid him well, I guess, hopefully. So then there's a face-off between John Spartan, Sylvester Stallone's character, and Phoenix, played by Wesley Snipes. And they're in a room full of gasoline. I can see it right to it. They end up fighting, surrounded by fire.
Right.
There's also C4 explosion. But somehow they get out, right? After the C4 explosion, they still manage to get out. So it ends up being 20 to 30 bodies found. We have John Spartan. Apparently he, as authorities do, he acted outside of the procedures, apparently. So this was not a good mission. I don't know if he was supposed to be jumping out of the plane or just not engaging Phoenix.
Yeah.
But apparently he didn't follow procedure.
They never said, but they do make mention. It's like, I'm pretty certain they say the name very early. When he walks in, it's like, he's the Demolition Man. Like, his thing is he just doesn't follow. They know he doesn't follow rules already.
Right.
He should have been off the
still
force.
send him.
But, yeah.
Yes. So because of that, he ends up being sentenced, John Spartan, to Sylvester Stallone's character, and sentenced to be frozen on November 20th, 1996, with no, I guess you saw, thaw date, I guess is what you would say.
I don't think
they
they mentioned it then. No, I don't know. I don't think they said, but maybe what, you know what? I take that back. They did say a specific date because I made mention that he was, how old, when was he born? Like 60, or no, 40 something. I want to say he was 50 something when this movie came out. He was playing like a 38-year-old.
46 is what
okay, so he was 46 playing a 36-year-old. But I remember in the movie they mentioned like you'll get out when you're 70 something. So maybe he had 40 years or something.
Gotcha.
This wasn't my part of the movie.
1996. So yeah, that's where we are, 96, and he's now frozen.
Yeah, I mean that's I guess was a choice, and that was purposely done for them. They didn't the script writer, I think, wanted it to be in the distant future. but they made the conscious decision to have it more recent, I guess, to show the drastic changes between the 1996. And if you hadn't watched the movie, this is a spoiler. We're going to go into the future. How many years? It's 2032. What's my math on
so there's 36 years?
That sounds right. We're going to go with your arithmetic. So, yeah, they chose that purposely.
Not too far from it.
Not too far from it. 1996.
And who knows where we're headed?
We know we're 8 years. Who knows when we have cryogels up? Anything
or
note
just,
in this first part?
No, like I said, they pretty much just got right into it. Like you said, kind of a typical action movie as far as the ridiculousness. But here we are.
Yeah. We get a glimpse of Simon Phoenix, Wesley Snipes, in this first little section. His, I guess, madness or whatever. So we see what kind of characters we're dealing with. Did you also say that Phoenix is also put away?
I didn't.
Yeah.
I don't believe I did. But yeah.
So they're both locked up
captured.
and both.
Yes,
yeah. And I don't know if we know at this time that he's been frozen, but he's frozen. So nonetheless, Spartan is frozen. And now we're in 2032 now. We're introduced to Lena Huxley. That's played by America's sweetheart, Sandra Bullock. We learned that she longs for the whole action and stuff of the 90s or the 20th century, to be specific. And she said that, nothing ever happens around, because they're in a utopia, which we would come to find out. Or dystopia, however you look at it. She's basically Will Smith's character from iRobot. Not necessarily, Will Smith wasn't idealistic, but he longed for the days of the past. He wanted to drive his car. She wants to drive her car without robot help, all that. So she's that person. She wants to be back in the 20th century. Anyway, we also get the first instance of what's going to be a running gag in the whole movie with the little cussing. And because in this world, all things that are deemed inappropriate or bad for you are fined. So if you say a bad word, somebody prints you a ticket and they say you're fined such and such dollars, and they run into the ground. It's funny though. Like the five times is the limit probably. But anyway, we flash over from meeting Miss Huxley to Simon Phoenix. Once again, he was locked up, but now he's having his parole hearing. Why is he up for parole? I don't know. But that turns into a jailbreak. And you say, how does a murderer, and well, he has so many different charges. We'll see later, but he's at least a murderer or complicit in some kind of way. And you say, well, how does he get out? Does he just overcome the guards with strength and guile? No. They have handcuffs in the future that work by a verbal passcode. It doesn't make a lick of sense to regress into the future. Keys have worked for eons. But so the release code is teddy bear. He says the word teddy bear. Why teddy bear? I guess they say a killer would never say the word teddy bear. He breaks out anyway. But he heads out and starts to run amok because nobody in this whole town is ready to deal with 20th century criminals. They like I say, this is a utopia. They don't use guns. Well, I don't think we see anyone with a gun. They have like wands, whatever. That's neither here nor there. Phoenix goes to the prison doing all the running amok, doing all the chaos he can think of. He gets to a door, another futuristic door, and how do you get into it in the future? You got to use biometrics. Once again, keys are not good enough. They're not good enough for handcuffs. They're definitely not good enough for a door. But the door doesn't have a passcode. It has biometrics. You have to use your eye. He takes the lead scientist, pokes his eye out with a ballpoint pen, and he uses that to get out of there. And he's gone still in the blink of an eye.
It was funny how they weren't really disoriented. It's like you've been frozen. And he just popped out.
Yeah. No muscles atrophied or none. But I guess when you get flash frozen like that, fresh out the boat, like they do crab meat, you good.
Or veggies.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So, yes, we're in 2032. So we have more people dying apparently while the police are looking at a screen, which we talk about how they can be useless.
They're extra useless in the future.
I think you said something about a Pimp C reference.
Huh?
Policing the web or the police state.
What
was it?
Policing they did, it just moved to the web.
There you go.
But anyway.
Thank you, Pimp C.
Yeah.
So Phoenix's brain tells him that he should kill. They just let us know what his brain is saying. Kill. Which comes back up, right?
Not just kill. In the future, it's called murder, death, kill.
There you go. Murder, death, kill. Yeah. I mean, kill you dead.
Murder, kill. It's real on the battlefield.
All right.
That's a Mac reference for those.
It says that he should kill Edward Friendly. So we're introduced to a new character. Apparently, there's a morality standard that they have. Phoenix, of course, gets all the violations because he's cursing, shooting, everything you can think of. He's participating.
He's getting a fine for it.
Yes, he's still stuck in 1996. And the police arrive. They get instructions from the computer on how to, approach Phoenix to apprehend him and other criminals. But he overrides the codes. Phoenix does. He's always a step ahead, and he ends up attacking the police. So this is a bad mission for the police.
What's that?
Trying to approach him. He overrides the code. So
and that's what we get the idea. They don't say it explicitly, but we get the idea that Phoenix has some kind of knowledge that nobody else does. Because he's overriding stuff. He's making his way through. Yeah, he makes his way through the jail and everything unscathed. Because, like I say, they're ill equipped to deal with this madman. Because for some reason, the future, we don't have, I guess, weapons that can incapacitate anybody. It's either you kill them or they just run them up. And I mean, sounds like
where are we now?
They only give you two options. Yeah, everything's a nail. Is all you got is a hammer. Anyway, so Phoenix he's gone. He's done his thing. Does he drive off in a car or something? Or I can't remember. I know
I can't remember if he drives off or just runs off like a madman.
Okay,
but the latter sounds more
that sounds about right. He just runs off. But now we flash to like a conference room. And this is I will say, I'm gonna stop and pause, that all the set pieces were cool to me, even on rewatch. It's like it's the 90s. This is their idea of the future. And, every future movie shows drab colors and stuff like that. So it sticks with that thing. Yeah, nothing flashy. So they stick with that motif in this movie as well. But in every futuristic movie to come, that's going to be what they go with. But anyway, we're in the same type of futuristic room now. They're having a telemeeting. They stuck it on that in the future people are going to be having telemeetings, but they didn't stick it on that people are going to have telemeetings with representations of themselves in the room. That's pretty stupid to think in the future that we would have a little avatar that fills in for us in a meeting. What are you thinking about in 96? But anywho, the roadman is told that the city is in chaos by this Simon Phoenix guy. That's his crony, or his I guess his assistant tells him that Simon Phoenix is out and something's going on. It's what's his name? Otho from Beetlejuice. That's his assistant, if you guys want to know. But anyway, he phones the police and says, "Hey man, apprehend that ruffian, post haste." Then they go back to the police station, and all the officers standing around. They trying to think of a plan how to rein in this mad guy. And then, funny enough, the man who has the solution is the old man who shot Nino Brown. You're killing your own people. Him.
Did he recently?
He did. Rest in peace. I don't know your name. We'll put it here somewhere. And he was in like 800 movies. But anyway, he's there. He's a police officer in the future. We don't know his name, but the man that shot Nino Brown says you can't use today's weapon to catch the past type of criminals. You need a Demolition Man. And he says that specifically. So we hear the name again. Everybody says, yeah, let's do that. Let's thaw out John Spartan. And they thaw him out, which is another surprisingly good looking scene. Nothing looks off, like it's a guy in a block of ice, and Stallone's butt is out. If you want to see man butt, fast forward to this part of the movie. He's out. He's thawed out. He's defrosted. They take the chicken out the freezer. And he says, what's going on? Wait, what year is this? Did I do it?
Please stop.
The chief of police doesn't condone this at all. He's saying he's an animal. We can't have him out on our fair streets. I understand that the man with the gold hair is out, but we can't let another out. You see what I'm saying?
Too many.
Like if you have a rat in the wall and you put a cat in the wall, and now you got to put a dog to get the cat. You can't just keep sticking animals. That was on Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Okay.
But anyway, they tell Stallone that everyone he knew is dead because you're in the future, and the earthquake killed everybody. You're in San Angelo now, which is like a metropolitan, I guess a megalopolitan area of, what was it, San Francisco and Los Angeles? It's San Angeles, whatever cities in California. So now
they combined.
They combined the city because an earthquake destroyed everything,
gotcha.
And they made a conglomerate.
Together.
Yeah, so he tells them like just break this to a man who's coming out of cryo. Like, you had a wife, because he's like, where's my wife or my daughter? And he's like, they dead, but we need you to help us
right now.
Can't you do something for us right now? We want you to get out, get your legs back under you, and catch the guy that you put in here, that he also framed you to get in here. So if you could do that a little bit for us, it'd be great, Sylvester.
Use some of that anger.
All right, let's do it. And then they get him suited up, and then we get to like the fish out of water stuff. You know, he's in this new world. He doesn't understand. They do the seashell joke of, how you use the restroom. And they say, oh, he doesn't know how to use the seashells.
Yeah. Look, I don't know if you guys know it, but you're out of toilet paper.
Did you say toilet paper?
Oh, they used handfuls of wadded paper back in the 20s.
I'm happy that you're happy, but the place where you're supposed to have the toilet paper, you got this little shelf with 3 seashells on it.
He doesn't know how to use the 3 seashells. I can see how that could be confusing.
And that becomes a thing. It's like, whatever.
Yes, no tissue.
But then, I guess the part of this, they do a little world building with Sandra Bullock's character, kind of explaining to Stallone all the things that you can't do, all the things that happened in after the earthquake destroyed the cities. And the mayor guy, which is the guy who was being reported to, he's the Mayor Cato. He, along with others, implemented these rules that save society, and it basically breaks down to broken window policing. Every little infraction gets fined, and that brings a utopia. Doesn't that sound crazy? Yeah, but they really try to do that. Hey, stop and frisk. But this is a certain set of people's solution to every problem. If we just get crime and nip it in the bud at every turn, we'll have a utopia. So, whatever. But Spartan eventually gets his marching orders. Get out there, get Phoenix, or you're going back on ice. Or, better yet, you better play nice, or you will get the ice. Spartan. I added that for flair.
Yes. So apparently, John Spartan has a tag for tracking. I believe you had a goodie mob.
I surely do. Thank you. Tag my skin with your computer chip now. Run my hand over your barcode for my dish. No more fishing for your fish. That's the goodie MOB. Soul Food album, Cell Therapy. So they were ahead of matter of fact, that was 96.
Was it?
Yeah, that was 96, I think. So this was 93, but you know.
But the movie said in 96.
The movie, well, the original part of the movie was said in 96, but it was made in 93.
Gotcha.
So yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, it's not too far off because every Black American at that time was a conspiracy theorist anyway. So it wasn't too far off.
I don't know. We hadn't been wrong too long.
Yeah, but just with the whole, and then I guess even what's it like, religious zealots, you know, you're gonna be marked with the beast and all this. So there was this whole, there was that, you know, to behold a pale horse era of hip hop. Is it Hotepery, I guess? All of it was mixed and mingled.
Gotcha.
In this movie, it kind of plays along those lines. But anyway, go ahead. I apologize.
No, thank you for the reference.
No problem.
But yeah, so we come up to the scene with Phoenix. He's in a museum. He enters the Hall of Violence, which he calls Home Sweet Home, I believe.
Phoenix?
Yes.
I don't remember that part, but that's hilarious.
I can't remember if he said or there's a sign, but there's something that mentions Home Sweet Home. So he's in the Hall of Violence. There was also a mention of a 15-day waiting period for guns in the museum, which I thought was interesting.
Hold on. No, I think he was joking.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's what I'm saying. I think he was just like, oh, no 15-day waiting period. Because, you know, like you have a waiting period now. You know, isn't it the Brady Bill or something? So I think he was just like, no 15-day waiting period. He broke the one and took it. I think that's what he was saying.
Yes, so at one point there was a 15-day.
It is now in real life.
So what was he referring to?
That's what he was saying. Like I think
when he was frozen, there was a
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's a real thing. That's what I was saying. Okay, I guess I missed you.
Yeah, because he's in the museum. So they are recapping. It's the Hall of Violence.
Yeah, he was just saying no 15-day waiting period. He broke the window and took it because it's a 30-second waiting period is what he's saying.
Yes, but there was a law.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yes. I'm just like comparing it to our time now.
Gotcha.
That's where I was going. Like, I don't even know if they
still do. Yeah, that's still a
15
thing.
days?
I don't know if it's 15 days, but yeah,
you
you
sure?
still have. Yeah, I think that's the Brady Bill, right?
We'll look
you
it
had
up.
to do we'll fact check that as well.
Yeah, so he uses a man to break the glass. To get the gun. Yes, he uses a man's body to break the glass to get the gun.
Please specify what you mean by that.
Yeah, he threw the man in the glass to get it.
Gotcha.
If I'm not mistaken.
If nobody had seen the movie before,
well, just let them go see it.
Use your imagination.
The Hall of Violence. And apparently the guns are loaded because they're ready. They're ready to be used. So Phoenix and Spartan, they face off in the museum, right? We're here at the Hall of Violence. Spartan beats Phoenix with the TV. Whatever. The mayor tells Phoenix.
This is when they fell below.
Yeah, I believe they fell.
Yeah,
but
that
they
was
had
the.
I think were they going around a car or something?
Yeah, that was the stylistic choice. They were in the future world up top, and then the other part of the museum was like an actual what they would say, what you call it, dramatization of 90s Los Angeles.
Gotcha.
So it was all run down. It was like Michael Jackson's. What's that? Is it Billie Jean video? Not Billie Jean. What's the word? Making me remember he was on the car.
Okay. I'm listening.
The way you make me feel is like that.
Yeah.
Video.
Apparently there was no color in the future when they went to that part of the museum. Like you said, that they went to the future level. One level may have been in the future, whatever. I want to say there was no color in the future. I guess that's how they imagined it. So yeah, the mayor tells Phoenix that he needs to obey the voices that are telling him to kill Edward Friendly. Yes. Phoenix again escapes because he just cannot be captured. And then the mayor invites the police to Pizza Hut. I don't know why that was included, but there's still Pizza Hut in the future. They are $10 pizzas in the future.
Well, the whole thing, it was, I guess, some kind of joke about, the future. That was the last surviving restaurant, and they, all restaurants are now Pizza Huts. But this is the part when I was mentioning a UK release, because in the US release, it's Taco Bell.
Huh.
And I saw that when I was watching the movie, they overdubbed it. So his mouth is saying Taco Bell, but the words coming out is saying Pizza Hut. And I was like, am I tripping?
Do they not have or did not have Taco Bell?
I think it was more so that was more ubiquitous in, Europe and stuff.
Pizza
so they was
Hut?
like, they would understand they don't understand Taco Bell.
It's a Pizza Hut everywhere in Europe.
Apparently,
Okay.
yeah.
And there is a Taco Bell everywhere.
Funny enough, they're all one company. So
Oh, really?
yeah,
Okay.
you remember like you see a KFC hooked on to a Pizza Hut, like they all under Yum Brands.
Okay.
So that's some facts for you if anybody want to know. Anyway, they're back at the station now after the invitation, and Spartan is openly wondering why this mayor guy has so much power and influence, Mayor Kato. The chief lets him know that Kato he says he's the most important man in our utopia. And this is when you get the sense like, okay, he's like their, what do you call it? They lionized him. What do you call that in the movie? Like the savior guy. When you have a utopia or whatever. So he's their guy. He's their deity that they was like, if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have any of this.
Gotcha.
Whatever. He built the freezer jail and he made all the rules. So they all pretty much say, yeah, but it's not important right now. What we need to be doing is getting Simon Phoenix off the street. And but they don't know where he is. They guess that, since he doesn't have a skin chip, that he can't be out walking the streets, and we can't monitor him even if he was, but he can't. Apparently, you need the chip to access like essentials. Mm-hmm. So he doesn't have a chip, so he has to be somewhere where he can at least survive. And he's right. They're right. He's underground. We see him looking into the sewer, and he's like, he says some weird line like, smells like home or something. Something weird. It's a funny little thing.
What, no door? No welcome mat? What is this? What kind of people are these? I didn't expect you to kill somebody now. Love that smell. Reminds me of biscuits and gravy.
And but he says, I'm coming for you, Mr. Friendly. Okay. Then they actually go to the Pizza Hut. On the ride over, they do a little jab at Arnold Schwarzenegger, which I guess hindsight being 2020 is funny. They say Sandra Bullock mentions that she read it in the Schwarzenegger presidential library. He was like, oh, what? He was a president? And it's like, yes. And she mentions it because of his popularity and charisma. Oh, sounds funny in 1993. It's not so funny now. And also 3 years after this, or when was 10 years after this, Arnold Schwarzenegger actually was governor. So
right, they were close.
Yeah, they almost called it. They get to Taco Bell, and Kato and Spartan, they back at odds again. Kato has, has openly despises Spartan every time they interact, as well as the chief. So nobody likes Spartan because he's the antithesis of their perfect utopia that they built. So they call him a ape or something, whatever. So Kato is like, oh man, we got rid of violence, we got rid of crime. And Spartan, being the philosopher, is like, where's the humanity in that? You take away choices.
Please stop doing
that. Whatever. The whole little din is interrupted anyway by Edgar Friendly and his crew of mole people coming from under the tunnels. Yes. And we're like, what's going on? And we don't know what's going on. Spartan doesn't know what's going on, but it doesn't stop him from attacking these people. And he attacks them. He runs out friendly, but he does apprehend one. And then he sees that they're stealing food or whatever. So now he's like, those guys are just trying to eat. And the chief or the mayor's like, so what? They're vile. He calls them grubs or something like that. No, the scrap people. And he says that they live underground because they don't want to follow our rules, and they'd rather live in filth and grime and slime. Just because up here we follow rules, not saying what the rules are. Anyway, the mayor leaves. Spartan leaves. The mayor goes back to his office, and Simon Phoenix has broken in. I'm assuming using the same passcodes that were in his head. Mm-hmm. Why would you put the passcode to your office in the criminal's head? I don't understand the rationale.
There's a glitch, I guess.
But who am I? So, Cato says they did it. Oh, well, the same thing we're wondering. Phoenix was wondering, like, why is all this stuff in my brain? I came out of the crowd and I just knew stuff. He's like, I gave you all the tools you needed to kill Friendly. So now he's telling everybody, us, the viewers, as well as Phoenix, his plan the whole time was to kill Friendly to stop the incoming revolution. Because if people are hungry, they're going to revolt. So his whole mission is he unthawed a trained killer from the 90s to kill a guy who lives in the tunnels. I feel like it has to be an easier way. He's weak. He hasn't been eating real food down there. Like,
Maybe it was just a cover to make him not look like the bad guy. Like, we didn't kill him.
He broke out of jail.
Exactly. He broke out and killed the people.
Nonetheless, as much as it doesn't sound right, Phoenix agrees because he doesn't have any options. But he says, hear this. I only need 6 more killers unthawed, and then I can get the job done. Obviously, the mayor, being a rational guy, says no. But he's not rational, and I'm lying. He says, sure, Phoenix, whatever you need, make it happen. We're going to unthaw 6 more killers so you can get this one guy in a city with no guns. Sure. Nobody said why they do it. But we leave them, and we get to possibly the most hilarious and disturbing part of Demolition Man. I've been waiting on pins and needles, Steph, to get here. And you'll see why. For anyone who hasn't seen this movie, you'll see why. We're back at Huxley's house. She has taken Stallone back to her home. We get into her apartment. It's scattered with all the ancient relics. And I'm not talking about Stallone. I'm talking about posters. She had a Lethal Weapon poster and a bunch of memorabilia and stuff. It's like, she loves things from the 90s. And I do mean that because she wants to bone Stallone. And Stallone is like, yeah, I'm down with that. Even though technically I'm like 70. You're like 20. But even if he wasn't, he was like 40. She's like 20. But I guess the time in the cryo prison rots a man's brain. I don't know. Never been there. She starts to, he's getting prepared to, do his thing. And she comes back with a helmet and puts it on Stallone's head. And he's like, hey, what is this? This isn't sex. What are you doing? And she says, this is how we do it now. Don't worry. Lap dance on your laptop while your laptop's in your lap. That's another Outcast reference. Anyway, Stallone is taken aback. He feels betrayed after she starts the virtual reality sex program. I'm not making him this up. In the future, you don't have sex. You do it virtually, like through a Mark Zuckerberg meta interface, and you conjoin minds, and it's sex mentally. You know what I'm saying? It's what they call it. It's a sapiosexual. So Stallone says, "Get me out of here. I don't want to do that. What happened to doing it the regular way?" And I quote, she said, "What do you mean the regular way?" Boning, the wild mamba, the Hunka Chunka.
All right, Huxley, what do you say we just do it the old-fashioned way?
Ew, disgusting. You mean fluid transfer?
I mean, boning, the wild mamba, the Hunka Chunka.
That is no longer done.
In no point in history has anyone called sex the Hunka Chunka.
The Hunka Chunka?
So, I don't know who wrote this movie or what part of the world he's from, but they should be stoned for saying Hunka Chunka. Bullock is disgusted by this. I don't know if she's disgusted about him calling her parts the Hunka Chunka. Or just the idea of, she naturally says we don't do that no more. We've got rid of all STDs. So she's making good points. Stallone is not listening. He's not listening. He is not. He wants to do the wild mamba, the Hunka Chunka. And she says, "Get out of my home, Stallone." And he tries to go in for a kiss. Here we are again, Stallone. This is not the 90s. You can't just move your way in because a woman says no. That doesn't mean yes. She's not playing hard to get.
Right.
Get it together what's his name? Spartan.
Spartan.
My God. She slaps him, kicks him out the house. He leaves Hunka Chunka-less. And then he goes to his home and watches the surveillance footage. I don't know if you brought this up, but when Phoenix escaped early on, he met Kato like in a courtyard somewhere. Like they confronted each other, and he pulled a gun on Kato, but he didn't kill him. So Stallone is looking at this surveillance footage from early in the day, and I guess he's thinking the same things. Like, what's going on? He pulled the gun. He had him dead to rights. He's a killer. He would have definitely killed this man, but he didn't. And then he knits a sweater.
Yes.
I mean, that's what I would do if I didn't get no Hunka Chunka.
So we find out that apparently there's a rehab program that John Spartan and Phoenix have been put into. It's an impart training, like they impart training or knowledge into the prisoner's mind. So Spartan is a seamstress. Phoenix program makes him a murderer or a terrorist. So they just keep his same identity. Apparently.
Yeah, he just got an upgrade.
Yes, an upgrade. So Spartan ends up confronting the mayor about the rehab program because he refuses to go back to prison. And eventually, the police come and try to locate Phoenix underground with what was the name of the group?
They the Scraps.
There you go.
The mole people.
So there's an underground city that's led by Friendly, the guy that Phoenix is supposed to be, targeting. So the radicals, I guess you could say what they call them down there, they apprehend Sparta and his crew.
You said Sparta.
Spartan, I mean
that people from Sparta were Spartans.
Yeah, Spartan and his crew, and these people live underground for freedom, like you said earlier. And Phoenix wants the old days too, right? He's in this program, but he seems to want the old days where you could be free to do what you want to do.
I'm glad you brought that up. If I interrupt for just last second, that's the interesting, I guess, intersection for all three. Spartan wants the old days. Friendly wants the old days. Phoenix wants the old days. They just want different ways to go about it. Right. But everybody wants the same thing. And it's more of and I know I don't think they were trying to get this deep, but it's like, they're part of the 90s where everything, which would be woke now, back then it was everything's so PC. And that's what each of these guys is complaining about. Phoenix is like everybody's, saying they sissies now. Why you just can't kill like you could in the 90s? Spartan is saying the exact same thing. Friendly is just saying he's doing Dennis Leary from 1990 stand-up. Like I think I famous remember Dennis Leary having a whole bit about macchiatos. He was mad that he went to Starbucks and they asked him what kind of coffee he want. He did a whole 15 minutes on it. So this is that guy. Go ahead.
Right. So like you said, all of them want the past, just how they go about getting there, or what they actually want from the past is different, but they all in the end want freedom, whether that's good or bad, right? So the mayor,
liberation, if you will.
There you go.
Outkast would say.
A lot of musical references. But the mayor wants Friendly killed, of course. So Phoenix is leading the charge to do that. He ends up Phoenix attacks Spartan and Friendly's crew. So Phoenix is in it all the way. So he's attacked everybody at this point.
Oh, it's on me, Holmes. I'm sorry. I drifted. I was thinking about liberation. Now we get to the car chase part. It's got to be a car chase in every action movie, and this is where we are. Phoenix is being chased by Stallone. Steph did mention in her part, while they were in the mole people's lair, they saw not a Dodge. What there was, a Pontiac? I think it was a Pontiac. Anyway, it's a muscle car, the American Muscle from the 60s, Stallone's day. So this is the car that he absconds in. Phoenix is in one of these newfangled police cars. So it's the old world versus the new world type of thing. So he's chasing down Phoenix. He eventually pulls up alongside him, jumps to the car. We get that good action scene. We know about those when a action hero jumps from a moving car. You get all the action you can handle in this one, baby.
Gotta
and it looks pretty good, I must say. Keep saying nothing looks out of place. But anyway, Phoenix is shooting through the roof. You know, everybody. Where does he get a gun from? Is this there from the Hall of Violence?
Maybe so. There was
Has to
plenty
be,
of it.
Dennis Leary had the pistol too, so I'm not sure what.
Or he could. I don't know if he got it from the underground people or what, but
because
since he attacked him, I'm not sure.
But anyway, he's shooting through the roof. He's doing that old maneuver, but he disables the car. He jumps from the car, or is thrown from the car, and Spartan crashes the front car into the police station. Obviously, the chief is there. He's fussing at him, but while he's leaving, the mole people have made it there. I don't even know why they came to the police station, but they get there and they say, "We lend our support with you, Spartan. Let's get the old days back," or whatever. I don't know.
Of Phoenix, nonetheless.
But then we go back to Kato's, Mayor Kato's little conference room or whatever. Phoenix is in there again with his whole band of miscreants, the guys that shouldn't be in your lair if you was the mayor, to say, "Hey, if I let one bad guy out, it's bad enough. But if I let 7 out, and they all know why I'm going to be," because he never goes home, it seems. He goes straight back to his office every time. I don't know. Anyway, they end up talking about how, job well done. We causing chaos just like you want. This is when Kato pretty much reveals his true nature of his plan, because he's agreeing like, "Job well done, guys. My whole plan the whole time was to scare the whole populace into whip them up to a frenzy, scare them so I can enact more laws, essentially." So he really didn't want to kill friendly. He did want to stop a revolution, but his whole thing was, if I show people how bad things could be,
right,
I can just put some more laws on the book. I can get tough on crime.
Manufacture a problem.
There we go. I'm not going to we do that in too many episodes. I'm not going to get into all of that. Obviously, this plan backfires, because when you sign a deal with the devil, baby, he gonna come collect. And that's what happens. Phoenix can't kill him. Well, like I said, when he had the gun on him at the beginning, we come to find out that he has implanted that into both Spartan and Phoenix's brain, that they can't kill Kato. It's like iRobot again. The robots can't harm you. That's the first rule. But that doesn't mean the other guys that he let out can't kill him. And that's exactly what they do. They shoot him on the orders of Phoenix. Spartan shows up, and they were like, "Oh, Kato is gone. We don't see a body, but we see burnt up clothes." And it's like, how hot are fires in the future? Because how is he gone already? Whatever. He shows up with what's her name? Huxley, and they make their way through the building. It's just, he's working his way through the lower level henchmen. You know how he's got to work his way up to the big boss. While they're fighting through the henchmen, they get an alert, like on one of the computer screens in Kato's office, that someone's in the cryo jail releasing prisoners. We know who that is. It's Mr. Simon Phoenix. He's about to release 80.
Liberator.
The Master Liberator, yes. Che Guevara is releasing 80 bad guys. I don't know how they came on that number. And they say you have 1 hour. So we have the typical action where we have a time limit, and we have a problem they have to solve in this time.
I think you brought that up before with what was it? What's the Bruce Willis movie?
Die Hard?
Yeah. How much they had?
I don't know. They probably had 45 minutes.
I can't remember, but I remember
one
that.
of them. But anyway,
window.
Yes, this is their window. They have an hour window. Anyway, Phoenix, this is another interesting part of the movie. Phoenix is going through his final preps, and he's releasing the bad guys. I guess they have a list or a manifest of like who's locked up, and he's going through. He's like, not good, not good. And he's like, "Oh, Jeffrey Dahmer, I love that guy." It's like, what? What does that mean? What are you gonna do when you release Jeffrey Dahmer, Simon Phoenix? The man who was known for mutilating and killing black men, mind you. But who was this written for? I mean, come on. I mean, if I was trying to like cause some confusion to where I'm not gonna release him. Person, why is he locked? Why is he frozen? They could have just went on and killed him, right?
They don't kill in this society.
They don't. They freeze you. He's gonna get out sewing sweaters, just like Spartan. Anywho's, Spartan shows up before he could do that, thankfully. And then they have a shootout. It's a quick shootout. They run out of bullets. Nobody gets shot. You know how it is. It's an action movie, but it's looking great. Stallone, he's all ripped and actiony. Wesley Snipes is throwing out quips here and there. Man, it's awesome stuff. I'm telling you, you got to see it. Anywho, he once the guns are empty, what's his name? Snipes, Phoenix, uses a claw. Like if you ever played the claw game at an arcade, that thing. There's one in the cryo jail that picks up the blocks of Iceman. So that's what it's used for. He doesn't use it for that. He uses it to scoop up John Spartan. And he scoops him up, and he's, I guess, going to squeeze him to death. But he drops another great line right here. He says, "Come on, Spartan, you ought to be familiar with the long arm of the law." So, thank you, Wesley. Thank you, Wesley Snipes, for that. But anyway, he wriggles out of this, obviously, because he's John Spartan. He takes some cryo juice and puts it on the claw machine, which freezes it so much that he just he can cut Stallone out of it, and he's out. And now Phoenix said, "Man, what can I do?" He finds a laser gun, because obviously in the future we have laser gun. He picks up the laser gun, and he's trying to laser Spartan to death, but Spartan is too fast. But in the process, he lasers open like a pipe that's carrying more cryo juice. So now the whole area is like under this frozen stuff. Like you can't step in it. The floor isn't lava. It's the opposite of whatever lava is. The opposite. So they're fighting here, because now the laser is out of laser bullets. And it's, you know what time it is? Mano y mano. It's fisticuff time. And I mean,
that's funny. It always, action movies do that too. It goes
yes,
from
you get guns, and it's
a
like
war to a battle, and then
and then let's fight. We get to the end. It's like, oh, y'all forgot how to shoot now. Like, put the gun down and fight me 1-on-1.
Oh, is it Die Hard again?
Did they fight at the end?
No, well, not Die Hard. What is it with I always get them mixed up. Danny Glover. I always want to call Danny Glover.
You about to say Donald Glover? This is America.
Yes.
Anyway. Yeah, so this is the fisticuff time. They're fighting. Yes. Phoenix is pretty much giving it to Spartan, which is surprising that because Stallone is, he's Rocky, so I don't understand how. But I mean, I guess Sylvester, Wesley Snipes is like, he's Blade. He was in Rising Sun before. We didn't mention that was one of his movies with Sean Connery. So he was in that. So he was already a bona fide action star. So he's giving it to Stallone. And I guess Stallone wrote this in because you got to have some back and forth. You think the good guy's on the ropes. He's not. Because he notices that the room is filled with cryo juice. He takes a wand. We didn't mention this, and I don't even know where we would have brought it up. But to freeze the prisoners, they use like a wand that's apparently like really cold or can get really cold. Like
ultrasound.
Yeah. And if you touch yeah. And if you touch the liquid with this wand, it freezes. And that's how they froze all the prisoners at the beginning. So now Spartan does the same with the entire cryo jail. He freezes the floor and Phoenix gets caught in it, and he's ice. It's like the Terminator 2. He's frozen and suspended animation, but just to make sure the job's done, Spartan kicks off his head, boop, and that's the end of Simon Phoenix. A callback to the beginning of the movie when he and Phoenix first met. He said, "Don't lose your head," and then they brought it back to this one. So this movie is filled with callbacks and quotables. But anyway, he kicks off the head, goes outside. He kisses Huxley in the mouth because now she wants to exchange fluids. And that's Demolition Man.
Fluids galore.
The Hunka Chunka, if you will.
Is that what this is going to be?
This is the episode called Doing the Hunka Chunka. So yeah, it's Demolition Man.
A lot of I could say comedy. It's action comedy, I guess you could say.
It's an action comedy for sure. Action comedy satirical take on I guess the culture or whatever.
Yeah, you could. I guess if you just think about it, they go there, but they still keep it light. So it doesn't overwhelm the storyline. Like you said, it's still action and comedy comes through, but they leave those little eggs, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
In the storyline.
Did you think it held up? As far as you said this isn't a true rewatch for you. You saw it a few times, but did you like, this looks terrible, or did you like, it's okay? I mean, I know we watched it through, nefarious means, but
it's still I guess you could say still the typical, even today, the typical action movie.
It's kind of the blueprint. Well, I wouldn't say this is the blueprint, but they follow the blueprint. The same rules. The same rules we've said before, like you said, start with the big fight, then the smaller one, then we come, face to face. What is that? Face Off makes me think of that too. Yeah, that did happen. Huh?
Yeah, and
watch
now,
our Face Off episode.
Yes, now you think about it, you see these common things that happen in movies, the outrageous stunts, right?
Which is good. This movie used a lot of practical stuff, no CGI, so that's why I think it holds up.
That's true.
Because like they cryo jail and all that, those were actual places. Like the building in the beginning that they blew up, that was an actual demolition. They did it. It was the.
So it was like one was scheduled.
Yeah,
and
the not Louisiana, L.A. Power and Light building, like an old building from the 40s or something, was about to be demolished. And they said, hey, before you finish, can we use that? So a lot of this stuff was actual set pieces and real stunts and, and not CGI. And that's what I don't get about a lot of movies, not to go off the rails too far because we run out of time. But that makes movies age much quicker when you're trying to use CGI because it's going to look outdated so quick. Like you got like 5 years.
The technology moves forward so quickly.
But practical stuff just sticks around. So that helps for this movie. So as you see, I think it held up well. I will be watching this again. It also drew a lot of comparisons to Last Action Hero, which we'll probably cover because I do like that movie. That's a Schwarzenegger film.
And now that you say that, I guess I'm kind of surprised now that everybody does the remake. Like this is one
that could be remade.
I think they could. Of
you
course,
probably speaking into existence.
And Wesley Snipes gonna make an appearance. They're both still here, and Sandra Bullock. All of these people, I guess, except for the
old guy. They ran out of time on him.
But I could see this being remade. I don't know who would be Phoenix.
You already. Well, I don't know who be Phoenix, but it's gonna be Spartan.
Who do you think?
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Come on, let's be serious.
And who do you think be Spartan?
It doesn't have to be a black person.
What's his name? Ryan Reynolds. Can't you see him being Phoenix?
If it is, you won't have to worry about me watching it. No, well, you know what? That does, but I don't think he wouldn't hold a counter to what Wesley Snipes, because it was a believable form. It was over the top, but it was still believable. It's Wesley Snipes, which shows his comedic side. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't know who. I said, what's his name?
Mahershala.
No,
because I'm saying they can't get him right with Blade.
Ryan
Reynolds.
Yeah, because he's often
trying to do the comedy.
Well, he's that comedic person, but I don't know who would.
Nobody does. I mean, Michael Jai White, he's still in shape.
Oh, I think they'd probably get somebody
that younger.
Yes, but yes, I wouldn't be surprised if.
Would say Jonathan Majors, but he can't keep his hands to himself in real life. So, sorry, Big Soup Barry, you could have been in the remake of Demolition Man.
I don't know if he could have brought the comedy.
Oh,
if he could have, I would have been very surprised. But what is it, Loki?
Yeah, he was, I guess, silly or whatever.
Yeah, he kind of came out with that character. But anyway, if there is a remake, I wouldn't be surprised because the same theme. Everybody wanted freedom. Like these are still.
Oh
yeah. I guess you could say
ideas kind of
themes. Yeah, ideas. How do we get to freedom for everybody when our ideas of what we want are different? That transcends any time period. So I can definitely see it. They might make it a little bit more serious. I don't know.
And that's probably that would mess it up probably.
That's probably what they'll do. I could see that happening, but I could see.
Well, everything they're gonna just make it a Trump reference because you know how that goes. In everybody's eyes, it only got bad in 2016, unless you're a black person, and then you've been saying this for years. But what do I know? We'll end on that note.
Demolition Man.
Hunka Chunka.
Watch it.
Definitely watch it. It's worth the rewatch. Everything holds up. A lot of the messages, like she says, transcend, so you still resonate. I hope you guys enjoy it. Our retelling. Go watch it, if only for the Hunka Chunka. Yes, if you can find it, because who knows where it's streaming. You probably have to buy one other streaming service. Why not add on $6.99? You got money. Add it on. We were cutting cords and they said, how about we don't? And you want to pay this $300 streaming bill. Thank you very much. So you can watch this one show. So go, while you're at it, watch something on MGM Plus or Paramount Plus or whoever has a plus and find Demolition Man, the 1993 film. starring Wesley Snipes as Sylvester Stallone. This is Let's Read It Again. Peace out.